Morning, everybody. Welcome to the 1 Minute Message. We live here in a world right now where headlines speak of chaos and they speak of heartache. So much so that the word resilience is just like a punchline to a bad joke sometimes. Because it's quiet, unyielding thread of weaving through our collective story. Think of the past year for a moment. We had communities ravaged by wildfires in Maui. We had families displaced in a conflict in Ukraine. They're still being displaced. We have echoes of a pandemic just a few years ago that still affects us today. And then we look at the tragedy in Utah yesterday. It can be a little bit daunting, my friends. But I have some encouragement for you today. Because these fractures, even though we've witnessed some extraordinary, horrible things, the human spirit's capability, the capacity to rise, rebuild, and hope again is never stronger. See, Paul was no stranger to hardship, my friends. He wrote this in Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, these words are not a promise for an easy life, but they are an invitation. They're an invitation to lean on the divine strength when our own strength falters. Think about the volunteers in Lahaina who are passing out supplies and sheltering strangers amid ash and loss and all the tragedy that's taken place. But their courage mirrored the conviction that Paul was talking about. That even in ruin, you and I are never powerless. And then there's Romans 5:3-4, also written by Paul. It says, we glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance. And perseverance, character, and character, hope. My friends, trauma and all this stuff transforms us. But it doesn't do it without some purpose. After years of fighting this pandemic stuff that we were fighting, and stuck in our houses for long periods of times, in recent years we have seen this though. We've seen classrooms reimagined. We've seen mental health start to be prioritized more than it ever has been. And we see neighbors bridging divides, forming newfound empathy. What felt like breaking, in many ways became a forging of grit, of compassion, and of audacious hope. My friends, resilience isn't about bouncing back to who we were. It's about becoming who we were meant to be. So when life fractures, and it will, remember something. The same thread that mended communities in crisis, that turned survivors into advocates, it runs through you. So hold fast to faith, my friends. Let the hardships of life, let the heartbreaks reshape you, not shatter you. Because this story isn't over, my friends. No matter what you read on the news, no matter what you're hearing on these threads, the story is not over. And with every stitch of resilience, we're weaving a future where hope prevails. Have a blessed day.